welcome to week 33 of 52 weeks of focus. Hope you guys are going into the work week more focused than ever, and hopefully you guys are having a good Sunday.
Good Sunday. First of all, let's point the obvious. Shaving accent number 3060. Yeah, I had to switch it up because, I need new razors. So I keep having to snatch that thing off. So, but I like it. That's all that matters. My wife talk about me bad, but it don't matter because guess what? I like me. So no matter what nobody say to me, I'm good. So, yeah, this week is cool. Hope everybody's having a good week. We're going to go into helping you guys out with managing small victories. So we feel like that's a really important topic, especially nowadays when we consistently hear bad news, consistently exposed to the things of the world, and how jacked up the world can be. So we need to make sure that we're managing our small victories so we can get through how this crazy world works and all the negativity involved. So, of course, we're going to have how many points? 4 points. And, of course, 4 Bible verses to go with those points. And, yeah, we would love you guys' feedback. And bless you, child of God. And, yeah, that's going to basically be it. We're going to try not to be before y'all long.
Try not to.
Say that all the time, but we went 40 minutes last week.
Was it 40 minutes?
Yes, it was 100% 40. So if you guys will just bear with us, we're trying to keep it concise. All right, cool. So we decided I was going to go first.
Yep.
All right, cool. But you got prayers out.
I prayed us out last week.
You see how it is, man? Take the breath out here. All right, so like I said, we're going to have 4 points about managing small victories. And point number 1 is kind of self-explanatory. It says seek victory. All right, we're going to talk about seeking victory. We'll go ahead and give you guys the Bible verse, and that's going to go to Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22 and 23, and it reads, "The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases; His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." So basically, that just lets you guys know that every single day that we wake up, all right, we're granted new mercies, new blessings, new victories, all right? But it is very important that we understand that we have to seek those victories. We have to seek those blessings. We have to seek the things that God has done for us every single day, like this house. Trust me, the story behind this house is amazing. All right. How it just kind of popped up 2 or 3 days after it was put on the market. And it just so happened that we had everything that we needed to have in that particular time to go ahead and, not necessarily purchase the house, but make it ours. Also, the resources that He gives you, the bed that He gave you, the air conditioning you got, literally every single thing that we have is because of Him. All right, and it's great that we recognize that, and because as we recognize it, we begin to understand the fullness of God and actually understanding that we are being gifted every single day. So if we're continuously thankful for the things that we receive, we'll be more apt to continue on with that momentum, that positive momentum as we get our day started. So we want to try to do that and try to seek the blessings of God and seek the fullness of God every single day, because that's going to help our day, will help the momentum of our day kind of in a positive direction. All right. And as we recognize the faithfulness and the goodness of God, it boldens not only us physically, but it boldens us spiritually. All right. Like I said before, it gives us the momentum we need to start our day. It's almost kind of like making your bed every day. That's one positive thing to start out your day. So no matter what happens, you're starting off on the right side. If you're seeking things, seeking the blessings, seeking the victories, small victories every day, it'll help with spiritual growth, and it'll also help with our mentality as the day goes by. Because it just, one thing happens after another. It just keeps going, and if there are things that are positive, you're pretty pretty much have a positive day. All right. But if we get caught up on the negative things, or we focus on seeking the negativity and the negative energy that's like constantly around us, mentally it's going to ultimately have a negative day. Mm-hmm. Short for point number 1. 5 minutes in, we in this thing. All right. Anything. Point number 2. All right. Point number 2 is going to be savoring the victory. So the kind of how this flow chart goes is we're seeking the victory. We're making sure that we're putting together a list, or we're putting together like visually or mentally taking note of the victory we have. Now we're gonna go into how to savor that particular victory. How do we enjoy it? How do we deepen our experience in that particular victory? All right, so we're going to go to Matthew 16 and 26, and it reads, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Or what shall a man give in return for his soul?" All right, so in that particular Bible verse, we talk about us receiving and understanding that God has given it to us, and God has given us the amazingness that is the victory that we have recognized. But what are we doing with that particular blessing? Okay, that's what that's asking us. All right, so it's not a 100% like, oh, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. We have to learn how to use that particular victory or blessing, or use that positive occurrence for our own good. How we receive it and what we're receiving is very important. Okay, so it's very important to understand that as we rejoice in our victory, we have to make sure that we acknowledge that it's not just a regular occurrence. Mm-hmm. All right, when you're hungry and you go into this restaurant that you've never like experienced before, and the food is good, it's like, oh my God, this thing is amazing. It's like the Belgian restaurant thing we went to today. Oh my God, that was amazing. All right, and we want to make sure that we're having that same, oh my God, this is amazing feeling towards those blessings that He gives us every day, because they're not a regular occurrence. Mm-hmm. All right, me and you both know people that didn't wake up this morning, people that don't have the things that we've been gifted with, people that don't have the life that we have been gifted with. And that's not saying that we're better than anybody, but we're just recognizing that God has continuously blessed us over and over again. All right, and we have to make sure that we are savoring the very small events that lead up to us being able to do the things that we do and experience the things that we experience. Okay, so as it pertains to just savoring I can't talk today once again, savoring the victory, we have to look at it, those blessings, like food. All right, it's one thing to say, ooh, that tastes good, but it's a totally another thing to say, ooh, I can taste the oregano, ooh, I can tell that they season this with this particular, seasoning, or ooh, that's basil. Like appreciating the very small things that have been created and curated to present this amazing experience that God has gifted us with. So deepening our understanding of the blessings and understanding that those blessings are amazing. Mm-hmm. All right, and their smallness and their bigness. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Anything for point number 2? Mm-hmm. Cool. Point number 3.
All right, I will take point 3 and 4. Starting off with point 3, which is saving the victory. Again, that is point 3, saving the victory. Starting off with James 1:17, every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change. In summary, it's saying every good thing that happens comes from God. Mm-hmm. It can't get any more powerful than that. It comes from our Father. It comes from our Creator. He is the beginning and He's the end. When you think about saving the victory, if you think about what they call gratitude jars, I know I've seen it on Pinterest. I've seen my friends do it. But every day for 365 days, you write down something good that has happened to you. And at the end of that year, you go through that gratitude jar and you see every good thing that has happened to you. God ensures all of those good things and those blessings that happened to you that you wrote down or that you mentally kept a note of has come into existence. So when you think of, God's, presence in your life, think of that jar. Every time you feel like giving up, God deposits into your gratitude jar. And he ensures that you continue to, think positive and be positive. I know there's something that I've always wanted to do. Maybe I'll actually make time next year to actually start it. But to look back and see that you have, at minimum, you can physically see one blessing a day for 365 days is powerful. And that's part of saving the victory in your personal life. And the remembrance or recognition of God's power is all we need. In good times, bad times, in between times, or different seasons that we may go into. But when we go through negative events, keeping the list mentally or physically, as I was talking about, the gratitude jar, will show you where God has brought you from and where he's bringing you to. It's always important that we try to focus on the positive, just as Bay was talking about, so many negative things going on. There are also so many positives that come out of that negative event. You see humanity stepping up to help those that, may be grieving from a tragic event, or you see those stepping up, to help, that homeless person on the street that needs a place to stay while it's minus 15 degrees, during the winter. Like, you see so many small victories. You have to be thankful for the little things. But you have to continue to praise him even in the bad times, despite how hard it may be to keep going. Did you have anything?
That's cool.
Okay. All right, so that's point 3. Moving into the last point of tonight.
Wave gang. Coming back.
My
back. Coming back.
So moving into
wavy.
point 4.
Oh, my bad. Got distracted.
Which is surviving through victory. Again, that's point 4, surviving through victory. As Galatians 2:20 says, I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. And the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. God, Jesus, is the only true person on, that has physically been on earth that sacrificed everything, sacrificed his life so that we could live abundantly and in a positive light and continue to progress. He could have, left that sin for us to bear, which would have been too much. Although we're born into sin, that doesn't, because of, Jesus's sacrifice, we're able to, live day to day, blessing after blessing. And we're able to make mistakes and come back from them because we're a child of God. This is one of the most powerful Bible verses because it physically shows the sacrifice that God, made for us. He gave his only begotten Son so that we can live. You have to keep in mind that the victory we seek is often shown within us, and as we recognize it, we must use it as a guide, as a guide for our paths in life or seasons in life. We have survived so much up until, this point of our lives, and we have so much more to get through and so many, future storms, to get through, but we know that we can survive it because we are a child of God. And that is reassuring to me, because when you feel like you can't keep going, when you feel like you want to give up, when you feel like you have nothing left, all you have to do is look up to our Father, and He will get us through. Whether that's bringing someone in our lives to help pull us up from that bad place, or it's putting a verse in our hearts and in our spirits that we repeat over and over again until we feel better, or it's a thing like you can actually a puppy can cross your path, although you're like, wait, I'm ready to give up on life. Well, that puppy gives you a purpose. That puppy loves you regardless of the day that you had. We see that through Still daily.
Oh, boy.
Regardless of how bad of a day we both had.
These knuckleheads get on my nerves. My boy gonna be waiting on me.
Yeah, so I've had some pretty rough days the last few weeks at work.
Rough.
Yeah, so, but every time I come in the door, Still runs up to me.
Barking.
Barking. And then he loves on me and continues to lick my leg and keep me from taking my shoes or anything off.
Good job, buddy.
But he loves me unconditionally, and that's how our Father does us. He loves us unconditionally, regardless of how short you feel like you have fell short of your victory. You're not able to see where your life is going. You are surviving through the victory because we are His. Yeah, so you can't get any more victorious than that. So if you are going through a time in your life where you feel like you do not want to be here anymore, or you feel like you want to just give up completely, remember you are loved. Although you feel like you may be by yourself now, you are never by yourself. God is always there. Although He may be quiet in the season you're going through, cry out to Him. Even if you have no one to call on the phone, you have no one to reach out to. You may not have that circle or that family member that you can, confide in terms of how you're feeling. But you just have to keep, as Dora says in Finding Nemo, you have to keep swimming. Just keep swimming. And eventually, as you keep swimming, those emotions, that depression, that hard time in your life will be a thing of the past, and you will see the light again. So just stay encouraged. Know that the victory will be yours, and know that God will always have your back. All right.
Cool. So before we get out of here, we got to do our recap. So point number 1 was seeking the victory. So we have to make sure that we are recognizing the blessings and the victories that God is giving us daily. All right, we have to make sure that we're seeing them. We're taking a mental or physical note of those daily, early and often. All right. Point number 2: savoring the victory. All right. So it's one thing to seek it, to recognize it, to say, "Ooh, that is something that He did for me." But point number 2 says savoring the victory is, oh, how did that come about? All right. What happened in order for that to become like a blessing? All right. Cool.
Yep.
Point number 3, saving the victory, taking a mental note, making sure that you are saying, ooh, this is a victory. That's a victory. This is a victory. Oh my God. Then you realize how much God has taken care of you, whether it be past or present. All right. And point number 4 is surviving through victory, which is step number 4. Understanding that with all these things, daily victories, understanding how He did it, if you can, recognizing the amount of blessing that you can will help you move forward in your path, especially when it gets bad and you have negative results after negative result. Because if He did it before, He will do it again. I promise you. Okay, I've been on my face before. All right, in the whip, sleep. That was it. Cars in the in the dresses in the car. All right, but it was the faith that I've had through not necessarily just people saying, "Oh, get in the Word, get in the Word, get in the Word," but the actual events that have happened before and presently. That helped me get through that negative thing. So surviving through the victory is all about reminiscing about the amazingness that he did before with hopes that he will repeat it. Cool?
Yep.
Hopefully this thing's up 30 minutes because I feel like we were on a roll. All right. Anything to say to the people?
Nope. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
That's legit my mantra for real. Just keep swimming. When my wife get on my nerves, just keep swimming. When the kids get on my nerves,
when Phil gets on my nerves.
I ain't say your name. I said why.
No, he knows. You know that.
And she gets a work text right now. Like, come on, just keep swimming, Phil. It'll be all right. All right, it'll be all right. It's cool.
Boy.
All right, so guys, as always, thank you guys so much. The feedback has been amazing.
Yes.
I think we got like 1 or 2 more subscribers.
2 more subscribers. We're up to 33 now.
Yeah, and if you guys have any other
suggestions,
if you know people that doing what we're doing, please help us out. All right, because we're trying to widen this thing out. We're beginning to become a little bit more comfortable with this, or at least I can just speak for myself.
Yeah, I am.
So we want to make sure that we're doing it the best way possible.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And just before we started recording, she was really on my nerves. But God,
dang, man,
reconcile my soul. And I appreciate you and I love you. So I want to say that in front of everybody, even though you were on my nerves. I'm pretty sure these people think we're happy 100% of the time, which actually are.
Actually, we are a majority of the time.
But there are times when you think on my nerves, and I love you for that. Because I'm.
Oh, don't forget that you get on mine too. Do not forget.
I'm comfortable.
Oh, you comfortable.
In my relationship.
Okay, baby, you ready to pray us out?
Oh, I did go on a little tangent. Sorry, y'all. All right, guys, I feel like I prayed last time.
No, I prayed last week.
So, Heavenly Father, thank you again for another week. Thank you for the small things. Thank you for the things that we cannot see or understand. Thank you for just guarding our hearts, guarding our souls, guarding our physical and mental bodies. As we go into the next week, God, help us to recognize the small things. As you are a big God and you work through people, you work through things, you work through environments, and help us to understand how those things are continuously serving as a lighthouse on our journey. Also, God, I want to say thank you for my wife. Thank you for just continuing to guard her. I know she's in this military thing, and I just want to say thank you for getting us to this point. Also, thank you for those who are watching as we are doing this all for you and not for ourselves. So I'm praying for blessing, strength, accountability, and wisdom for those who are or are not watching it, as we know you are the light. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen.
All right, guys.
See you next week for week 34. Wow, almost at week 35. All right, have a good day, guys. Bye.
See you.